Within the functioning pairs, 1/4 of the personalities of the MBTI fall into visioning, which is NT, intuition and thinking. Visioning are best described as someone who is an agent of change, a person with value, logic, vision, competence, and independence. An ENTP is very quick, ingenious, stimulating, alert, and outspoken. They are extremely resourceful and they're able to solve new and very challenging problems. They're adept at generating some confidential or conceptual possibilities and to analyze them very strategically. They're very good at reading people. But one of the biggest things is that they get bored by routine. They very rarely are going to do the same thing twice, and they're apt to turn from one new interest to another. An ENTP has some wonderful strengths when it comes to career and jobs. They are creative, they're problem solvers, they use great analytical skills, and they also possess a very wonderful technical expertise. They also have an entrepreneurial approach to careers. When we look at goal settings for the ENTP, you're going to see that they have a preferred method. Their preferred method is to have very multiple long-term idealistic goals. They like looking at the long-term vision, and they're going to take advantage of some unexpected opportunities. This does create some obstacles because they don't have a very clear sense of a long-term direction, and sometimes they may even lack some detailed action plans to reach some of these goals. Some tips would be to establish some specific goals to enable your choice, and also to make sure that you take the time to create step-by-step action plans to reach any of your goals and your visions. Gather information in a very wonderful way by looking outwards. They're going to talk to people and get excited about job personalities or possibilities. They like to search for opportunities, they like growth, they like learning, and they're really going to get into an idea of being able to see how many options they can consider. Some obstacles, though, is that they're going to overlook some important facts because they get very enthusiastic about some things, and they get overwhelmed with some possibilities when they have too many options. So some tips is to search for facts about your careers and make sure that you establish some priorities. Prepare a list of what is most interesting to you and then stick to that list as you look at options. In a career for an ENTP is going to be done in a personal method as they have an extensive network of contacts. They are very enthusiastic and energetic, and they have this great ability to learn, and they're going to be able to really emphasize that, and especially emphasize a potential. Some of their obstacles, though, is since they do like to network and they like to talk, that they spend too much time in an unproductive way, and they may talk too much in interviews and focus too much on potential. So when we look at tips, make sure that you use productive networking. Maybe you want to set up some goals or some rules or guidelines to help you in this. Pause during your interviews. Emphasize what you can do presently to help an organization and not focus quite as much on that long-term possibilities. Also, don't feel overwhelmed with too many options. ENTPs, like all other personalities, have a preferred method of how they like to make decisions, and they like to conduct a logical analysis, really weighing those pros and cons, which may create an obstacle. They may neglect values because they're too much focused on logic, so one of the greatest options you can do is to keep a list or make sure that your values are always right within your eyesight. They may put off decisions as well, so remember to always consider what is truly important, remember the values, and make sure that you set a deadline to make a decision. Popular occupations for an ENTP are architect, executive, industrial or organizational psychologist, electrical technician, commercial art director, and even a cost estimator.